Alright chat, today PlayStation just dropped the Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN video. Hopefully it answers us a lot of questions that are needed. It definitely looks like a whole different game. I wouldn't say a whole different game. It definitely has the style, the aesthetic, all that. But there's new movement, apparently. There's also, you can't even customize the character. There's 8 classes. I know that seems almost like, I'm assuming it's going to be like a roguelike from what I've heard, or from what people were saying. I didn't even think it at first that it could have been a battle royale. It doesn't sound natural for a From Software game to be a battle royale. I don't think that would be the case at all. Sounds a little silly, if I'm being honest. So let's just get straight into it. You got any questions? Throw them in the chat. Hopefully, we'll get it situated out through this video. Dropped a couple videos. I know the playtest is on Friday. I did not sign up. I went to go sign up and I was a day late on the registration. I went January 21st to register, but it wasn't working out. I forgot, slipped my mind, and so we will not be having a Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN playtest on Friday, unfortunately, or this weekend. We're gonna react to some videos of it, definitely, but sorry about that. We'll get him next time. Anyways, let's get into this video. Is that a fucking bird? That's a fucking bird. You can be a bird? So we're not even just humans anymore, or tarnished. There's a fucking bird in armor. Okay. It's a whole ass bird. It's got wings and everything. Y'all can't hear video? Oh, and I got y'all. I'm gonna play the video. Y'all tell me if you can hear it.
Excitingly, we can say that it's coming out on PS4 and PS5 on the 30th of May, 2025. And from the time I've played with it, Alex, I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that you enjoyed it, Rosie.
Okay, let's go back for a second.
Yes, please. Get me in there now.
But I've been able to play some Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN, which, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk to you about.
So it looks
Alex.
like there's
and
same
even
enemies.
More excitingly, we can say that it's coming out on PS4 and
so he's genuinely a
PS5
bird.
on the 30th
I'm
of May,
still on the fucking fact that there's a fucking bird.
And from the time I've played with it, Alex, I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that you enjoyed it, Rosie. This is one of those things, isn't it, where it's like, God, I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. But you, honestly, I want to hear all about it.
So, first of all, I just sort of want to explain what this game is, because so far we've only seen a trailer. So this is a session-based RPG multiplayer
the bird looks like a tank. I'm not even gonna lie.
experience. PvE meaning that you fight in-game obstacles like enemies and the environment rather than other players. It's its own standalone game, and it's a brand new adventure. So what happens is that you start off in the round table hold, where this is basically where you start before an expedition. An expedition being what run you select to determine the final boss. Okay. So in the round...
Okay, he took no fall damage from whatever that was. Either he used the item or there's no fall damage in this game. Which I heard there wasn't, but then I also heard people arguing that there was. So hopefully, I don't know if that'd be, no fall damage doesn't sound bad.
Round table hold, you have a sparring area where you can practice your build's moves and try different weapons. You've got a relic menu. Relics I'll get back to in a moment. And you've got your expedition selection. So from the build of the game that we played, we only had one expedition that we could choose from, but it said the expedition, and then it had an icon of the boss that was going to be at the end of the run. So we knew what the final boss was going to be.
That's cool.
But everything else in the run, we didn't know what was coming.
I love that. Oh, so you know what it's going to build towards, but there's all this mystery of what's going to happen in the run up to that.
If you know what, I think that kind of ruins the element of surprise. Just for me, because if you know what boss you're gonna get at the end of the game, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know. So it just sounds, that would ruin the surprise for me if I know I'm coming in, but it also builds up to it. So there's two different sides to it. It's not that bad of an idea. That's not
that big fight. Oh,
yeah.
It's not too crazy.
It's kind of scary and kind of great.
So you can play either individually or in a team of 3. And you need to survive 3 days.
That's something I wanted to say. Why is there no duos? Why, you're either playing individually or with 3. Unless there's Phil, but even then, I'd rather be playing with my brother, or say passing time. Fuck it, we don't got a third. Let's run this up. No, I have to play solo, where I get to play with 3 people. And I have 3 people, don't get me wrong, but still, I feel like that's... And I also heard them say 3 days. I hope they elaborate with that one.
So you've got Explore Day 1, Boss Battle Night 1, and then you've got Field Exploring on Day 2, Boss Battle Night 2, and then straight after the second boss, that's when you have the Expedition boss, which is the final one.
Okay.
And you start the run by literally, you and your party are all there getting ready, and you fly in on your flying, like, falcon bird thing.
Oh, yeah, the magic birds, yeah, they're cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Can we go back for a second? Recluse, Wilder, and Guardian. I'm assuming these are playable characters. I mean, duh. But I'm assuming these are the names of them. I don't think these are the names of, I guess, whoever was playing it. This is Guardian, so he most likely is a tank. The Recluse, you know, mage. Wilder, I guess he's just the knight, you know, the classic old, I have a sword and a shield. Fuck it, let's do it. I'm not as slow as a tank, but I'm not as fast as a thief with a dagger.
Bird thing.
Oh yeah, the magic birds, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, they're really cool, and you fly in from an angle, and then you,
that
the team, can use that time while flying to very quickly look at the map, see what it is you've got available, and then you can, for example, pinpoint where you want to be like, oh, let's explore this area, let's explore that area. But then you've got to drop into the world. So you fly in, and then you drop in.
This just looks like a battle royale. If I showed this to myself in 2020, prime days, like, I'm not even gonna say prime. I'm sitting here playing fucking Fortnite, and I show, hey, look at this shit, dude. It's a fucking battle royale. It looks good. Don't get me wrong, it looks good. I like the idea of it, but it looks like a battle royale. And hopefully that's not the case. I think a battle royale sounds absolutely fucking chaotic, especially with the Souls community. Just, I do not want to deal with you fucks that much. But it looks good. It's a roguelike, it's PvE. There's no PvP. If you're gonna do PvP, just go to Elden Ring, even though I feel like that's shitty in itself. But I don't do Elden Ring PvP. Hopefully, actually, I'm gonna make it a video to actually try to do Elden Ring PvP. But that's for another time. Let's get back into it.
When you do that, you are literally spending your time exploring. So you explore to upgrade your character, fight the optional bosses that you can find in the world.
Optional bosses, yeah, that's good. Love that.
Yeah, essentially you want to do everything you can do before fighting like the 3 main bosses.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you all die in one of the 3 main bosses, so not the optional ones in the world, but the 3 main ones, it's the end of the run.
Wow. So you have to really make sure you are preparing and using that time to explore properly then.
But not only that, Alex, there's a time limit when you're exploring.
Oh, what?
Yeah, which is indicated by a ring on the map, so they're...
It's just a fucking battle royale. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's just... What was it called? The PvE Fortnite one? Save the world, save the world, save the world. There you go. It looks good. The map doesn't look too big to be exploring it for 2 days, and it doesn't look too overwhelming, I guess. It's a lot to cover. Sorta, actually. No, it's a good chunk. It's a good chunk to cover. Hopefully you can split up. So like one guy can go on top right, one guy can go left, and then you just get, the bottom, or like, triangle positions. You could do like 3 corners. That doesn't sound too bad of an idea, but it also wouldn't be a bad idea to just gank enemies and bosses. I mean, it's just, then again, also new UI here. That looks a little clean, no lie there. But it has the same aesthetic as Elden Ring, so it's not too far off from it.
Fire rings, which you might have seen in the trailer. And they start off quite slow, but then when they reach a certain point, that's when the ring will speed up in closing you in, and it essentially closes you into where you're going to fight the final boss of that, or the boss of that day.
So I like the idea in a way that it really adds like a real pace to the gameplay, Like you have to explore, go out and find things, but you have to make sure you're progressing together as a team, efficiently, and you're not sort of dawdling too much. I quite like that it adds a sort of a faster pace to the action, That's really cool.
Yeah, fast pace.
Also, if you get caught outside of the fire ring, you gradually lose health until you die, or you are able to run back into like the inside of the circle. But also, you've got character builds. So it's not as if you create your own character and have your own armor you can put on and stuff. You are given specific character builds. We had 4 to choose from in our build of the game, but we've been told that there will be more on release.
That's so cool.
Okay. I've heard there was 8. Does anyone know if like this game gets updated like multiple, like, because it seems like to just be a straight online game, so it's not like, does it get updated more? Will there be more classes to choose from as the game's like a live service game? Or am I just asking too many fucking questions?
There's lots of experimentation, even off the bat. There's lots to play around with. That's wicked.
Yeah, exactly. So we had, this is when I pronounced the title completely wrong, but we had a Wilder, which was well balanced and easy to handle. This is the build that I used when I played it. I mean, it starts off with a sword and a shield. So I thought, okay, for my first runs, I'll do well balanced.
Bread and butter stuff, yeah, that's what you want.
Bread and butter. We then had the Guardian build, which is much more higher defense, and the dodge rolls are a lot slower, but they've got to start with like a big chunky shield and had the more bigger weapons like spears, for example.
Okay, so yeah, he is.
We then had a Duchess, which was a much more of the quicker pace. They can do like consecutive dodges. They're really quick, and they start with 2 smaller weapons.
Now we're speaking my language.
And then we also had the Recluse, who
Low
was
key,
the
I might play
magic
the Duchess
user.
one.
And each build also has their
Duchess, I'm not
own
gonna lie.
skill, and who was the magic user.
You see that? Is that the new UI for like? Hopefully, I'm not too much of a fan of it. I like the dot. I like the Dark Souls 3. Just a little dot. Focus on that. This is too much. I feel like this is too much on the body of whatever enemy you're fighting. And plus, it looks too. I guess it looks too technological. Like this is like Sword Art Online type vibe. That's what I'm getting from this. Not too bad. I'm literally just nitpicking, but this is just shit that I'm peeping. You know what I mean?
And each build also has their own skill and an ultimate move. So once you've used them, you have to wait for a certain amount of time until you can use them again. So for example, the Wilder used a skill which had a grappling hook, so you could bring enemies closer to you, or you could get closer to an enemy. And their ultimate move was this massive fire punch. So you could combine the two, for example, use your grappling hook to get closer to an enemy, and then use your ultimate move for a fire punch.
Love that. So there's like a real you can like chain the skills to really like use. If there's a particular enemy that you need to get down quickly, you can like chain your moves and try to really you can like gun the enemy down as quickly as you can. That's wicked. And then having that extra level of like strategy as well. Like if there are skills that benefit the whole team, like and having to communicate, that's just really really cool. They've sort of weaved in those synergies, so that you can actually work as a team instead of everyone having individual skills that only benefit them. It's about communicating. It's like, right, target this person, then we'll target this person, and you're adding this extra layer of strategy. I'm really into it.
And also you can have a lot of fun with it as well, because these character builds, they're called night fairs, and you can select the same night fair in a run. So for example, you could have 3 Duchesses. It's not as if it's like one person has to be a different build.
That's
good. All be the same build if you wanted.
I actually fuck with that. Like Marvel Rivals and those are different games, but these are games where I noticed that like you can't pick the same character over and over. Since this is a PvE game, I like the fact that you can just pick multiple. Because say me and the boys are fucking around and we just all pick the bird. Now we're all big bird. That's fun. That's fun as hell. We don't got 1 big bird. We got 3. Or we could play the Duchess. Whatever the fuck. And apparently she's fast paced. That sounds like a fun ass like run. Like non-stop, you're just going. So that I'm appreciative of. That's a good little touch.
So literally we had one group who was at the preview event who were all 3 Duchesses, and they said that they were having a blast, running around, going invisible, causing chaos, and you could hear them having a laugh and everything, and then feeling great when they've just obliterated some enemies. And at the end of each run, so let's say you've either won or you've died, you will earn relics. So I mentioned earlier that in the round table hold you have like a relic section, and these allow you to put relics on specific character builds to upgrade them. But each character build has their own set. So the relics come in different colors, and for example, a Wilder had 2 reds and I can't remember what the third color was, but maybe let's just say it was a blue, for example. So that meant that for that build, any relic I got from the end of a run, I could then put on that build, or if there's one that I thought was better for the Guardian, I could put it on there if the color matches. And the relics also have their own different levels as well, so it's really good for like feeling progression as well.
Yeah.
It's like you still get rewarded for every run you do, because there's some relics that you can get and you're like, this is brilliant, and it will just help you get better at the game as well.
Yeah, so you feel like, you know, you're always making
so relics
progression,
are
as you
perks.
say. Even if a run has gone horribly wrong, at least you are, you know, still finding ways of moving your characters and your builds forward. Yeah, that's great.
And then, of course, I've been talking a lot about how fast-paced the game is. So you're probably wondering, how does this work in Elden Ring, which is very, like, steady-paced type of game? They've made a lot of changes to make it more fast-paced. So, for example, while you're running around,
like
you've
a
got
dope-ass
moves like
weapon.
wall jumping, and you can do some more parkour. When you level up, you don't level up individual elements. It's more
like a
that you
twin-blade
just
spear.
level up everything at once.
Right.
Oh, I'm
Level up
gabbing
in
too much. I need to hear this.
wall jumping, and you can do some more parkour. When you level up, you don't level up individual elements. It's more that you just level up everything at once.
Right, okay. So it's all a bit more streamlined in that sense. All right.
Yeah, which is great though, because when you level up on a Site of Grace, but when you're in such like a fast-paced action, you're literally like, Site of Grace, go, 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 and then keep on running. You don't have Torrent, but you do have a Spirit Spring jump, which allows you to jump really high in the air, and it's like a purple wind-looking tunnel. There's also no fall damage, so you can fall from as high as you want.
I love that. Thank you.
No fall damage,
is
and
great
there's no
news.
weight limits.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No weight limit.
So
is
the
big.
weight like purely goes on your build of the character. So like I said, for example, the Duchess could do consecutive dodges, whereas the Guardian had one slow dodge. But with no weight limits, the thing with that is that you can carry only a limited amount of items and weapons. So you can carry 3 weapons on your right arm, 3 weapons on your left arm, and 4 items. And then you can also have 2 talismans as well, but that's all you can carry. So when you're running around looking for new weapons, you're constantly thinking like, oh, should I swap this out for this? Should I keep this weapon? It might be beneficial in this situation.
That's
gonna be a tough one.
Some tough decisions ahead, because Elden Ring.
This dude's copying what I'm saying. Fuck him. Okay, that makes it a lot more interesting instead of just picking up. But do you even get to keep it? I mean, at the end, it's not like a loot. It's not a loot grabber or whatever it's called. A loot, like a game like Escape from Tarkov. I don't know the genre, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you start base every. I don't know. But it definitely adds, I think, a level of difficulty to it, because especially when you're new to the game, you don't know which one's right and which one's gonna work in this situation or that situation.
Had so many awesome weapons in it, and to be able to have to quickly make decisions,
The UI for this game is definitely different. Because it's not a classic traditional Soulsborne game, I can't knock it, because the sword, the axe, like I think when you just have that little like sack or the little like spark that's there, and like you see the little tiny bulb of like, you just want to, what is it? Huh? There's a little mystery to it. With these, you kind of just like, oh, that's an axe, that's a sword. I guess you figure it out with the ones that are on the floor. But I mean, yeah, it's not like a regular Souls game, so it doesn't really matter. It fits. I wouldn't complain about this. This fits.
You've got this ring that's closing in, and you've got to try to keep the team moving. You're gonna have to make some quick snap decisions with weaponry. Oh man, I'm already feeling the pressure, but it's good pressure. I like it. Those decisions are where a run could make or break a run. And I love that. That's great.
Definitely. And also each weapon has a level of rarity as well.
Oh, yeah.
The HUD menu, the one on the bottom left, that's been simplified. So now you don't need to consider 2 of them. You've just got the one. And you might be thinking, like, what about flasks? Because flasks were always a part of, like, the HUD menu. They are their own separate thing now.
Oh, okay.
And you can see how many you've got underneath your stamina, health, and FP.
So like Bloodborne.
That's great. It all speaks to me of a much more sort of streamlined and action-oriented experience. It's great.
But, of course, you might have a chance that one of the players, or that you, might run out of health. And you might be thinking, oh no, I've run out of health, what does this mean? Well, during a run, you can be brought back to life under a time limit. So, if you run out of HP, you will start crawling on the floor, and then if one of your party members hits you, so actually attacks you whilst you're crawling on the floor, that's how you bring them back to life.
Okay, wicked.
The more they die, the more hits it takes to bring them back to life.
Why did you die? Get up and help fight. Get back up now.
It's a little weird. Nothing to complain about though. It's just weird. It's different. I'm not gonna call it weird. It's different. I mean, it seems so much like a roguelike or like a survival game that's just like at this point just hold square. Just hold square revival. I guess like yeah, it brings more to it to just swing at them. Because plus if you're getting like ganked by a bunch of enemies, you're gonna yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Nah, this definitely works. I just kind of put the pieces together.
Now.
Also, you can use, so you remember I mentioned the ultimate attacks?
Yes.
Such as having the massive fire punch or the Guardian jumping in the air and landing back down. They can also be used as an attack to help bring your party members back to life.
This is the only type of situation you should be
Guardian
using
jumping
a
in the air
ultimate
and
to
landing back
revive.
down. They can also be
If
used.
you are doing an ultimate to revive me, I'm never playing with you again. I'm never playing with you again. You could save it. But if you're just solely doing it onto me and like there's no enemy around, the boss is like fucking 3 miles to the fucking fields and he's fighting our third, you're over here gonna use an ultimate to revive me when there's like probably like 3 little petty. No, kill him, then get me. Don't do this. Don't freak out and just use fucking ultimate to res your teammate. Unless even then, you could just fight that enemy and then save your ultimate for when you need it at a better time.
Used as an attack to help bring your party members back to life. So
Okay. So there's like a real utility to these as well. If they're not just purely for attacking an enemy, you can actually use these skills in different ways to support the party.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. When this game does come out, whenever I go live and we're playing the game, I'm gonna get some guests. You know what I mean? Like I'll pick like 2 players and then we'll get on and play this one. I'm kind of thinking of it like that as well. That's what I'm saying. Don't do this. I'm thinking strategically already in a way. This game looks fun. I'm not even gonna lie. It looks really fun. I'm definitely gonna spend some hours on it. But I also want to think of not trying to die and also thinking of it like I guess objectively. I don't know, whatever. I'm fucking epic.
It's clever.
But if, for example, no one's able to save you and you're crawling on the floor and you run out of time, you do come back, but you lose a level, you drop your runes that you've picked up, and if you've picked up any perks, such as like, oh, this perk helps damage negation, it may be turned into a debuff. Because I had it, for example, when I came back, suddenly it said, you take more damage now.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. So really, you don't want to be dying, essentially.
No, that's like a real sort of risk-reward thing again then, isn't it? If you're taking perks and they could all turn on you if you do go down at any point. Oh man, extra.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to think carefully. Got to think carefully about what you're doing.
And if no one saves you during a boss fight, you're permanently dead until the boss is defeated.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay,
so
wow.
This isn't for the optional bosses in the world. This is for, like, the 3 main bosses.
Okay, well, maybe use an ultimate if, you know, the person's died so much or got knocked down so much. You know, I guess use an ultimate. I don't know.
Okay,
so
right.
you can be crawling on the floor and you can still come back, but if you run out of time when you're crawling on the floor, you are permanently gone until that boss is defeated.
Blimey, that creates such a sense of like epicness, doesn't it? Though with those boss fights, like you have to make sure you're ready. The 3 of you go in, and it could all go quite wrong. It could go down to one of those key moments. You know, can one of the players hold on and get the win? I love that though. It creates a real sense of epicness. I'm into it.
It really does, and honestly, the things that are on the map, there's so many things to explore and do. You really need to time and plan and communicate what it is you're thinking of doing in the time limit before you fight the boss of that day/night. As I mentioned, Site of Graces is where you level up. You've got churches, which is where you can get more flask uses.
Yeah.
Caves, where we went into a cave and found some smithing stones to level up our weapons.
Yeah.
You've got the towers, which we found were really good for the recluse build. So every time we really wanted to make sure our recluse was a really strong mage, so we would try and find a tower and help them get some really good items. This is when I say it wrong. The Evergals? Is that how you say it?
I think is it ever jail? I think it's pronounced jail. It's like an old school way of spelling jail.
I don't know.
But you've got those as well, which give you optional mini bosses if you have a stone sword key. Ruins and castles. There's like that you can just explore to find chests and dungeons.
Could be wrong.
There's dragons roaming the world as well.
Wow.
There's spiritual oak trees, which is where you can summon the awesome birds that can fly you across the map for a certain amount of time. There are camp settlements. You can just go and see what's there, fight some enemies. And there's so many things in the world just to discover. Like, we found a red silhouette corpse, and I was like, oh, hang on, what's this? And then that was a corpse of like a warrior in game, but they gave me some more items, and they were some rather good ones, if memory serves me correct.
So there's a lot going on in the world map then. So it's like exploring isn't just a matter of finding some enemies and finding some new items. There are like actual like different sort of almost like different types of places to go to that will give you different upgrades and so things you might want to target if you're going after a particular type of upgrade or something.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Like you said earlier, you can sort of you can try to look at the map as you're sort of landing, and then you can try to sort of plan your approach. It's just great. It all sounds really, really cool to me.
It really is, and not only that as well, but you also have these. I mean, at least we saw it was like this black droopy orb thing in the sky, and we thought, what's this? And literally, it just dropped a random encounter on us, and we had like an army of ants that literally then just started charging at us, and also. Our lovely friend Margaret the Fellowman can appear as a random encounter.
Oh, right, randomly. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so literally we had it where we were just running around, suddenly we heard him talking, and he started chasing us on the map. And he was not letting us go. So again, there's so much excitement, and whenever he pops in, we all just thought, "Oh no," because we knew he was coming for us.
It just sounds like the game's going to be full of surprises. There's going to be so much cool stuff that players are going to discover, and the runs are all going to be different and full of those surprises.
Yeah, and just very quickly, I won't go in depth about the bosses we fought, just to save that for a surprise and everything, because honestly, seeing some of these, you're just like, "Oh god." But the final boss was like this three-headed dog, and it was in like its own massive arena, and it was really cool to fight. And when you defeat a boss, like any boss, this can be an optional boss, as well as one of the 3 main bosses, but you have a little statue that allows you to pick one of 3 benefits, so that's also a way then that you can decide, do I want this weapon, or do I want this perk, or do I want this talisman? So again, you're under pressure of thinking, okay, how do I want my build to go here? What do I want? What am I going to get because it's random? It's just incredibly exciting. And I absolutely loved my time with it. The hours flew by.
It sounds. I was excited anyway, but now I'm about 100 times more excited.
Today's
that's been cool. My rough explanation on what Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN is like. Thank you, Alex, so much for listening to me just honestly enthusiastically talk about this.
Rosie, I would happily listen to you all.
Chat, the game looks good. Let's not get it twisted. The game looks good. Does it look like a Soulsborne game, combat style? Sure. Difficulty style? Sure. But in the root of it, exploration and stuff like that, what really is the root of a Soulsborne game? Like Elden Ring, you traveled out, you leveled up, it was an RPG. This is just a roguelike. This is something that is a little bit more, I guess, mainstream, to get new players to get used to the combat if they want to dive into Elden Ring. Because let's be honest, a lot of new players, one that I know, new player going into Elden Ring, as soon as they got to market, it fucking shit hits the fan. Fuck this game. You hear every single curse. But this looks like a more mainstream game. I'm hearing a lot of people say it's a money grab. Sure. I wouldn't say it's a bad money grab though. It's just a game. It looks fun. I'm gonna be playing it. Am I gonna hold it to a standard of Elden Ring was when it was coming out? No. Or yeah, I mean, no. It's just this just looks like a fun little multiplayer game. It's like loading up multiplayer with the boys playing Black Ops. That's like, just something to get on and do. Does it look like you can go more into the depth with it? Yeah, looks like there's like a whole lot more to explore. This game's gonna have as soon as I saw the Nameless King, there's gonna be lore. And if there's not lore, then it doesn't. I don't think there's going to be insane amounts of lore, but it just looks like a fun, casual game that you can just run up with your friends or play by yourself. This isn't as, I guess, as magical as Elden Ring's going to be, and I don't think anyone should hold their standard to it. You're hearing lightning in the back because it's fucking storming, but I don't think anyone should hold it to Elden Ring, even though they put Elden Ring in the game. It's just the aesthetic of Elden Ring and the difficulty and the fighting style and all that. It's just Elden Ring roguelike. Yeah, it's a roguelike. You know what I mean? there's nothing much else to it. I'm hyped. I hope y'all are hyped. I mean, I see nothing wrong with this. I like the way the direction they're going. I don't think Miyazaki's directing it, so it looks good. It looks good. It's not it doesn't look like a bad game. So I will see y'all with this game, and hopefully we play it together. We have a good time, chill, stream. Fuck it, bro.
And that's the end of the first reaction video of this channel. But what I will say is I had fun doing this one. I actually had a lot more of enjoyment when making this video. And yes, it is the next day after you guys seeing me so tired in that last video. But yeah, I mean, this is the first reaction video, but it is also a W video. I mean, I like it. If you are fucking with NIGHTREIGN or you like the way it's going, you know, leave a like. Let me know in the comments. I low-key like it. There's a lot of opinions, there's a lot of questions. I think that's the beauty about, you know, a new game coming out. So I'm excited. I mean, man, I'm excited for it. And I hope y'all are too. I'm going to try to get an Elden Ring video out. I'm not gonna lie. I think that'd be a good video idea. PvP, actually. I want to try PvP. I already have a character and all that. And I played through it, beat it. So not with this character, but like an old character on a PlayStation 4. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if I should do more reactions. I want to, but I always value y'all's opinion. So thank you so much for all the support. Check out the TikTok. Get some rest, drink some water, eat good, enjoy yourself, live life. Eladios Vidal out.